clearing heads of kale to sell to restaurants, to sell to some local chefs. Harvests like this give us an opportunity to clear a bed. And once we clear a bed, we'll just remake it. We got the new compost, we'll fluff it, add the compost, shape the bed. There's a Napa cabbage bed where we planted Napa cabbage, and the warm weather and the wet soil caused them to bolt while they're still young. Here, there's certain ones that are bolting and certain ones that are not. So we're gonna intercrop green acre cabbage or golden acre cabbage interspersed with these, either down the middle or alternating. But most likely what we'll end up doing is just starting to cut them out and let the roots die in the bed. Because the bed's freshly made, it's strong, it's fertile. We'll add some liquid fertilizers to it. And once we add the liquid fertilizer, we're done. So this is the kale that's going to some Atlanta local chefs. Grow where you are. Next thing is to move all the material, hoe up the beds, scoot the irrigation back, then drop the load. But the load is already staged, it's already ready. We cut down the tops of these kale. We're using them to go to a restaurant. We then pulled out the roots, gathered up some compost, and now edged up the beds with the hoe to get stubborn grass out, to create an area where the water will settle on the sides of the beds. And then we'll come in and add compost. Shape the bed after that and plant. It's the fork of choice for pulling grass and dead roots out, shaping simultaneously, getting it ready to receive a load of good compost. And just pull all these grass and weed roots and old plant roots off to the side, get a general shape. And then we'll come down with the load of compost that's already staged at the end. These beds are about 50 feet. We do 3 wheelbarrow loads for one bed, about 3 to 4 dumps out of each wheelbarrow, and work our way down the bed. Once we put the dumps on, we then rake it out, shaping the bed while we're raking, keeping the compost at the surface, and letting last year's bed become a subsoil. Check us in a minute. So what we're attempting to give you is a schematic and a visual reference, right? in life, when you're building a system, a protocol, a business, sometimes you have a crew, sometimes it's just you. When it's just you, if you set up systems that are one-person systems, then when you get a crew, your managerial potential will go up dramatically, because you will look at a complete project like remaking and planting a bed as a series of one-person steps. So what we did first is we harvested everything we could that was useful off the top of the kale that was in this bed. Then we went through one person again and pulled out all the roots. And when we pulled out all the roots, we took all that plant material, one person transferred it to the compost. And then we came back and we hoed up the sides, chop, 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 down both sides, cutting a barrier for the encroaching grass, creating trenches on either side for the bed to hold the water. After we chopped through, we raked through with our fork of choice, the cultivator, the claw, pulled the grass and the dead weed roots out. Then we went to the compost pile. Always have material. If you're just one person, you need material on deck. If you're a crew of people, you need material on deck. Don't start your project until you have materials. Materials initiate projects, not plans. You can have a plan. You don't execute just because you have a plan. You execute once you look at your plan and gather the resources. Once the resources are in, then we execute. Started dumping. This is 3 wheelbarrows on a 50-foot bed, 4 piles out of each wheelbarrow. Fill that thing up as much as you can handle the weight of it. Then it's a simple thing. We shape. We like to shape, as y'all know, we like to shape with the heavy rake. Heavy rake moves and distributes the material. We go down one side, back up the other. Work from your core and your feet and your legs. This isn't a shoulder or a back movement. Clean your teeth. All the pressure is all in here. On your way back, gather up any wasted or spilled material. Any of the roots that you see, the grasses, get them out. This is your time. You're always cleansing. You'll get the feeling for how much material you want to move at any given time with any given stroke, but we're not digging into the bed. We're allowing the teeth of the rake to determine how deep we're going. We're not chopping in with weight. We're raking across the top, raking up what's loose and available to be redistributed. If you are a perfectionist, or if you're doing this for a landscaping job, you can turn it over and run one more swipe down the middle and really get a even surface, even distribution. If not, if you're farming, you're at home, man, just plant in that bed. The growth of what you plant will hide any of the mistakes in your design. Nobody will be paying attention to that when there's cauliflower to harvest. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. We hope this is helpful. Look at these purple cauliflower. These are beautiful. We did an Instagram piece that went viral about the control of the Suez Canal. And look at this, you could just dig right into this bed. I'll plant this one in the center. And we were harvesting yellow and purple cauliflower. That was a while back. And now look at what's happening. So we're gonna keep planting because people keep warring. This is our arrow. I'm gonna pop the holes in. If you're working with another person, that person can go down the bed and put your holes in for you. And then you come behind them and just drop the plants in. But if you're working by yourself, you just break it up into 2 different systems rather than digging a hole, planting a plant, standing up, digging a hole, planting a plant, standing up. Just do one standing activity and one squatting activity. And then if somebody says, hey, you need some help? You can say, yeah. You can take this and go all the way down and dig a hole, alternating sides every 12 inches. Or you just demonstrate the pattern. They take care of that, you come behind them. If you have a third person, you got a person who's just popping the plants out of the tray and dropping them all in the hole. And somebody else who comes around and just covers the plants up and tucks them in right. Or maybe fertilizes them in and waters them. The more people, the more complexity, the more production. But the basics still hold true. From a one-person scale, a one-woman farm, a one-man farm, you get in here, you make your holes, you plant your plants, you start your own starts if you're smart, or you work with some local, trusted nurseries. So strange things can happen, right? These Napa cabbage that we just transplanted out, starting to bolt, basically all of them shooting up a flower. So not exactly sure what to do with these flowers, if we should just cut them all and let the plants die into the beds, let the root energy be reabsorbed. But either way, we're going to put in some golden acre cabbage in the alternate spaces and let them hold space for a while with these, and possibly just cut the tops off and let the roots die in place out here. Transfer the energy from that plant to the new plant.